Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it today because we are joined by the one and only Sarah Farasia.
All right, what do I get today for a prize? Because I was wrong, majorly wrong about a proclamation about Bravo, and then I was majorly right about a proclamation of Bravo. Where do I get what's the prize here at Behind the Velvet Rope times Sarah Fraser show?
Well, I would like the same prize too because I said Melissa Gorga will 100% not return to the Real Housewives of New York. And I fell flat on my face. And I said 800 times during the season, Jennifer Aiden will not be back. And nobody believed me. So apparently I'm right and wrong at the same time. Is there
Okay,
anyone
well,
out there? Is there anyone out there in a fantasy world that
I'd
thinks
like
Jennifer Aiden is coming back? Live in reality. Oh God, David, don't start like this. What were you wrong and right about? And tell me about the prize you want, darling.
Well, I was just going to shout out our live show sponsor, which
Ooh,
is Skin
do it.
Can Do. Skin Can Do. She's unbelievable. Everything is made in small batches. By the way, Sarah is going to be at our live show. Our live show is October 29th, and we're working on a very special guest. You don't want to miss this. 7 p.m. New York City time. Tickets are available at Eventbrite. Just search We Don't Want to Leave Our House Tour, $30. It's the best VIP experience, and you get to ask us anything. Okay, I was right about this is sad actually because we love Juliet who reps
Mhm.
Rachel Leviss, but you guys, Rachel Levis's podcast is no more.
It's no more. R.I.P. Let's play some sad music.
Um, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
We had said that, remember, probably a year ago, it was top trending in the top 200 of all podcasts. Very hard to do, you guys. Very
Mhm.
hard. And everybody said she's a podcaster now. And I said, here on the show, and you agreed with me, pump the brakes. It is very hard to stay there. Hard to stay there, hard to keep an audience, hard to grow. Let's see where she's at in a year. Did the show last a year?
It doesn't seem like it. You and I both lose track of time, or sometimes you say something was 7 years ago, and I feel it was like 7 days ago. So you and I often have a different perception of time. I don't think this was quite a year. I mean, when did Vanderpump end in 2023? Oh, the kids are yelling at home. Get your facts straight. I don't fucking know, and I don't fucking care. I was around a year, I guess, a
Well,
little
I'm
less.
looking back. If you guys missed it, she just posted chapter 65, the final chapter,
Hmm.
this past week. It
Yeah.
appears that the show, I'm scrolling back, it started in January of this year, my friends.
Okay,
January
so
7th.
close, close.
Almost made it a year. What do we think is the cause behind this?
Well, I often say things like if someone's making a ton of money, I had a recent side podcast venture, which we're going to talk about at the live show. Is this
Yeah.
coming out? This will come out right before. Oh, we're in the home stretch. Our live show is on Tuesday. That seems to be what a lot of people want to talk about. I had a side podcast, and you and I teach podcast consulting on the weekends. You have a podcast course you're starting. Sarah and David, when they say, when we say, you should come to us for podcast consulting, we actually mean it. And I know, listen, we're going to save it for the live show, but having a second podcast, never the answer. I really feel that because I don't do anything unless there's money. And I feel if you're making money in a podcast, you don't quit it. So I hate to
Now,
be
wait, wait,
so
wait. From what
negative.
I've listened, she
Hmm.
says, I haven't gotten through the whole episode. She says that she wants to move on from Vanderpump. Do you believe this? From Pump Rules, a lot, and we're going to get into this. We have a ton to cover. I'm not sure if I even sent this to you, but Thea de Sosa, who is a producer, an author of a book about Vanderpump Rules, says that season 12 will be the final season. Everyone is coming back and then it is done. Pump Rules as we know it is gone. Do you think, I mean, there's a lot of, I love when you and I kind of put our conspiracy hats on.
Hmm.
To me, I think you're right. Ultimately, it's about money. I think she wasn't making any money from it. So they don't know how to do it, to make money. But do you believe her? Also, I come out here with my conspiracies, and half the time they're wrong. So, do you think it's just as simple as like she's over talking about it, doesn't want to be associated with it, maybe she's moving on?
Well, once again, what was it that you presented recently as a theory? And I was like, oh, that's a good one. I'm
Dubai
sensing,
is funded by the Dubai
yeah.
Tourism Bureau, and it's going to keep going as long as Dubai gives NBC insane tax breaks. I'm talking that they're probably making money by filming there, and they just pay the girls' salaries. And as long as Dubai wants to help fund it, it's going on the air. It's staying on the air.
You need to call Miss, a very good friend of mine, an actual icon, Kristen Cavallari, because you and her should do a podcast together. She has conspiracy theories. She feels that Yeezy, Mr. West, and Miss Jean Spears, have been cloned. So she has her theories. I'm sensing, well, look, I really thought there was nothing to this other. Look, two things get to be true. Do I believe that Rachel Leviss does not want to talk about Tom Sandoval, James Kennedy, LVP, Bravo, or Vanderpump Rules ever again? 100%. So this is a great statement. I believe it's true, but I believe, guess what? I want to talk about Melrose Place and all things 90s and 80s, and here I am talking about Housewives. I don't want to talk about fucking RHONJ anymore. I mean, I guess I do. I kind of love my
Oh,
job,
you
but
don't? Oh my God, I do.
well,
I
I
like it,
mean,
and I'm obs
okay.
I mean, I could talk about sister wives.
I mean, I do love my job. Let me be honest. But I mean, my point is there's a minimum here that daddy needs to be paid to show up. And, whether I want to talk about this or not, that's really, we're past that. So I do believe she doesn't want to talk about it, but I also believe the podcast wasn't making any fucking money. You and I both know just what goes on with the numbers. I love Rachel Leviss. I do. I love Juliet and
We've
PR.
been
I
long
love,
time
love, love,
stands,
love, love.
long time stands, and we supported her when the world hated her. We were like, you know, as a reminder to everybody, what Tom did was terrible to Ariana, but they were not married. They had not taken those vows. There was no, people do this all the time and they don't become hosts of Love Island. They are left with three kids while their spouse has decided to go out and carry on this affair, and they have no money, no help, and emotionally have no time to deal with the trauma because they have three little mouths to feed. So we came through like, what? Why are people going crazy about this? This happens every day.
Now, you seemed, based on what you just said, which your good friend Peter did say this as well, that we're having a whole new Vanderpump Rules and we have one final season. Your guy, you broke that news at our last live show. Another reason to come to our live shows. But now based on what you just said, I'm thinking you have a conspiracy theory that Raquel Leviss is signed on the dotted line for season 12 and is going back to Vanderpump. And that's why the damn podcast is going away, because whatever she's getting for the check over there is way more. I mean, I didn't even think of that, but I'm sensing that's what Sarah's conspiracy theory
And
is here, huh?
I actually have not talked to any of our sources. I said this at the live show. I was going to talk about a cast member that I do know will for sure be back for Pump Rules.
All of
I,
them.
you kind of wonder, right? Like you kind of,
I mean,
I know, but there's some confirmations we can discuss that maybe
okay.
are a little interesting. Anyhow, I wondered that too, David. Does this mean, are we wrapping up the final chapter of the podcast because we're going to shoot some scenes? Is this going to be the epic finale and she's back?
I mean, a final season with Rachel Leviss. I'm so for it. I'm so for it. You could argue she was only there for a day and like two seasons, and why do we need her? But I'm sorry, Scandal's the biggest thing that ever happened in the history of the 12 seasons. And I do think I would love it if Miss Leviss would return. I would love it. I don't know if that is actually happening. This might be one of your theories that you need to call Cavallari on about Kanye and Britney being cloned. But guys, if she's back, you heard it here first from Miss Fraser. My mind didn't go there, but it also didn't go there that the government of Dubai is being paid. So this is why we keep you on the payroll. You have a cleaning lady. We pay for your cleaning lady. That's all we pay here. Don't ever expect any more. And
I know